E62 is about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV, here with your host Dano, giving you guys the best content on the internet that you're gonna find. If you stay for 10 minutes, you're gonna stay for the entire episode, I promise you. So thank you guys so much for being here today. We're gonna be talking about what it takes in order to preserve and to maintain and to maybe even improve our mental health, physical health, and spiritual health, to make sure that we are living the life that we dream of, that we desire, because it is possible. And I'm going to be teaching you guys on how to do it because, I've read so many books and I've talked to so many people and I've experienced what it feels like to live this life every single day. And I know you can do it too. And I'm just going to share you guys my tips. And as we go throughout this episode, I need you guys to share your tips as well, because obviously in an hour amount of time, we're not going to be able to cover everything. So I just wrote down some bullet points and kind of the best points that I think what it takes to, live out our best mental, physical, and spiritual health. So like I said, whenever you feel compelled or inspired to, please just comment anything that you need, that you want everybody to hear, whether it's me, whether it's the Positivity Posse, whether it's the person watching live or on the replay, the person in the US or all the way from Australia, who knows. Just please make this an interactive experience, because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And I know that you guys, when you do comment, you're pouring in that great energy into yourselves, into everybody else, and the world as well, which is also very, very important. So thank you guys for being here. I see you guys already dropping. My Positivity Posse showing up, showing out strong today. Carmen, thank you. Hashtag Positivity Posse. Lou, hashtag Positivity Posse. I love it. And Jeanette, thank you guys so much for dropping your comments and for always being here week in and week out. You guys always crush it because you love the golden nuggets. And here it is. I'm living the dream. Thank you for the golden nuggets. No, thank you guys for being here, because it's like I say all the time, if you guys aren't here watching this, I would just be talking to my camera lens, looking like an idiot, looking like a crazy person. But it's because of you guys that we are able to make this happen. So thank you so much for your support, for your likes, for your shares, for your comments. It all really helps. And it kind of gets me in the mode to get, even throughout the week when I'm not doing this, I kind of go out throughout my week saying, Dan, what would the positivity posse think right now? Or I wonder how you guys are kind of working on your best selves. And we always just help each other out. It's whether we realize it or not. When you have a strong community like we have here, it just makes life that much easier, a little bit better than if we were to try to do it ourselves or alone. Don't ever fall into that trap either. Everything that you're by yourself or everything that you're alone, that's all noise. That's kind of what we've been programmed to think, and it's not a great way of thinking. So like I said, if you ever need somebody to talk to, just reach out to me, and I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys just as much as you love me. I'm reciprocating the same love and energy. The street segment. So let's talk a little bit about these street segments. If you guys don't know, which I haven't done a new episode of the street segments in, it's been a little bit, it's maybe been like, I don't know, maybe 4 months or something like that. So season 4 is coming out, which I'm super excited to announce. I want to get it out, and there's a very, 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 very strong chance by the first Thursday in July, we're going to have season 4 all rolled out for you. So expect the new set, expect some new segments, maybe some street segments coming back. Like I said, the hardest part with this is just finding the camera person that's just consistent, but I already know ways to work around it. Like I can just always set up a tripod and have a sign. There was something that I saw the other day. It was a man at the Deptford Mall, if you're in the New South Jersey area, and he had a sign that said, "Want to play?" and he had a chessboard out. And I could always do that too. I could just have a sign that says, "Hey, want to answer a question?" Have it on the tripod. We got to do the workaround. And, notice how I said work around, because you can always work around an obstacle and, find different ways to do whatever it is that you got to do to make this happen as well. And like I said, season 4 is going to be absolutely amazing. Expect a entirely new set, maybe some new fashion going on, because, I like to kind of wear some nice stuff, but we're going to be upgrading the wardrobe. We're going to be upgrading the set. The guests that are going to be coming on as well, we have a fire lineup for you guys, because, we got some great guests that come along, but now we're going to have, some people with some, extra clout and, maybe even greater stories or greater golden nuggets for you guys. So everything, and even not an entirely new opener. I'm going to give you guys that one, that little, sneak peek. But we got a lot of things planned for you guys, some new commercials and everything. It's going to be some great stuff for season 4. So just be ready. Just be ready, man. Season 4, I can't wait for it either. I wish I can, unveil this to you guys like next week, but I want to wait for July, because the first week in July, we have a really great guest coming on. I guess I can tell you who it is just so you can get, hype about it. We're going to have a fashion designer. His name is Bernie, and he has, showrooms all the way in New York, all the way to Paris, and I think Milan as well. So he's going to be talking about what it takes to be, a great fashion designer, following your passions, pursuits, all that great things. Like I said, you got to be here to experience all of the great, energy and questions, and just the experience for season 4. It's going to be the best season yet. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And if I was a betting man, I would bet to you guys as well that season 4 is going to be absolutely amazing as well. As even with social media, my goal is to, which is another thing that I don't have to wait on it, but I would rather hold off a few weeks to build the social media platform. So if you guys are watching and you're going to be scrolling, just expect, I'm letting you know right now, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me in this beautiful face on your feeds, because we're going to be revamping that and spending a lot more time on that, just to cast out the net, expand the positivity posse, just giving you guys a little bit of a rundown and what the game plan is and what I got for, I got a good plan for you guys. And thank you so much for always supporting it, because like I said, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I appreciate the stars, Bass and Lou. Thank you so much, guys, for sending it. My guy, Bass, thank you for being here. First week in July, new season, new content. Looking forward to it. You can mark my words that it's going to be ready by then. Everything is going to be right where it needs to be. A's right. Let me see through the applause up. Let me give us a round of applause, just because, why not, right? sometimes being by yourself is good. You speak a lot of good content and it touches many lives. You have a way of capturing your audience. Like I said, I'm just reciprocating the positive energy you guys always give me and the positive outlooks and the aspects and the stories, every single thing that you guys do, because I like to pour into you guys just as much as you pour into me. And when we have this community, we're pouring it out into the universe, we're raising the collective consciousness and just making the world that much of a better place. Because, when people see me, they can't help to think, hey, the positivity posse, I want to be a part of that. And when you guys, did you not hear the applause? I'll play it again for you right there. It should be working. If I were to put it in the headphones, I'll be able to hear it, but I don't feel like doing all that because we got so much that we need to talk about. But hopefully you guys heard it that time with the applause. Let me know if you didn't, because I guess I got to recalibrate this thing right now. Let's see. Do you hear? What about laughter? I'm playing laughter right now. It's supposed to be people laughing, obviously. But if that's not working, like I said, I'll fix it by the end of the episode. So yeah, let's get right. Well, before we get into the meat, into the potatoes. All right, why? Nope, not working. Well, I got to fix that. So maybe if I were to unplug it and replug it back in, but at any rate, we got to move past it. So we're going to be talking about our affirmations for today for happiness. You already know what time it is. And you know what? That reminds me, I need a new book actually for season 4. Since it's going to be a new season, we got to do a new book, right? If you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. I think I already know which one I'm going to be picking, but if you have a fire one that I need to check out, let me know for season 4, because I want to make this, as great as possible. So if there's some golden nuggets from a book that I need to read, please let me know. And just to let you guys know, back in season 3, we had this book. It was 500. Life's little instruction book, which it says 511 suggestions, observations on how to live a happy, rewarding life. And the affirmations for happiness is, self-explanatory, what we need to do to tell ourselves in order to achieve that happiness. So if we can keep the same theme, that's fine. But if you guys want something new, let me know and just comment it and I'll take a look out for it. So let's see. We have 2 different pages that it kind of opened up to. And we're going to pick this one, number 74, just because I feel like I like this one a lot. So number 74, here it is. I help generate happiness by nourishing my mind. And I'm telling you guys, it's always on point what we're going to be talking about, right? We're talking about mental health and spiritual health. So here it is. I help generate happiness by nourishing my mind. I'm kind to my mind. I give it everything it needs to function optimally for me. I think my thoughts... I can't even speak because there's so much energy coming in right now. I think what am I, freaking Mike Tyson? Why am I speaking with a lisp? I think nice thoughts. I practice beneficial perspectives. I give it time to rest. And I use it as an ally to my journey towards more happiness. I really love that one a lot. And like I said, one of the things that really steps out to me and speaks to me says, I give it everything it needs in order to function optimally for me, right? And what does it need in order for your mind and your brain to function properly? It's about all of the 3 things that we're going to be talking about for today. You need the mental health to be on point. You need the physical health to be on point. And you need the spiritual health to be on point as well. So like I said, I just got a bunch of different things written down for you guys for today on my tips and what my biggest improvements or tips and tricks to make sure that all 3 of these areas in our life are making sure that we're living the best life that we can and, having the energy to do it, because every single one of these aspects are so important. If you have, the mental and the spiritual, but you don't have the physical to, be active and to have the energy, then you're not going to experience that great life that you want to live. If you have the physical and the spiritual, but you don't have the mental, then you're not going to be happy in order to, live our positive thoughts and to experience the great things. And if you have the mental and the physical, but not the spiritual, then you won't really have any meaning in life, which it may be great, but you're always going to have that missing component and you're always just going to feel like an empty feeling in your life as well. So that's why all 3 of them are so important with everything to live our greatest lives, because they all go hand in hand with each other. And when I list out these different tips and tricks for you guys as well, just know that they can go for any area in our life. It's not just going to be limited to one thing. Like, when you go to the gym, all right, so when we start to talk about the physical portion of everything, like going to the gym, right? Yes, you're going to experience the physical benefits, but you're also going to experience the mental the mental benefits as well. So like I said, once I just say if it's for one category, it's not really just for one area. It goes for all of them, because all of the things that I have written down are not just for one area. Like they just go for everything, as you already know. So here it is. All three of them go hand in hand 100%. Number 74, Dave in DC. Nice to see you. I can't wait to go to your symposium as well. That's going to be fire, which is going to be another physical, mental, and spiritual benefit for me as well. Positive thoughts lead to positive actions 100%, because you already know, if you're thinking the positive thoughts lead to actions, and actions lead to results. And we all know that's kind of like the secret recipe. If you don't already know that, then you need to start watching more Weekly Dose, because we talk about that all the time. Here it is. I generate happiness by nourishing my mind. There it is. That was just the affirmation. So thank you for writing that. I really appreciate that as well. So let's get started with the meat and the potatoes, the core of what we're going to be talking about today. And it's going to be working on these three things. So let's start out with the physical, just because that's what I have written first. And if you have any tips that you think somebody needs to know that's watching right now, that it may be your golden nugget or your top secret thing, don't be a gatekeeper, because when we, help other people out and bless them, we will be blessed in the same manner. I know that if you want somebody helping you out, you don't want them gatekeeping. You want them to give you all the secret sauce to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, it can be, you could be the best at it. So let me know some physical things, tips and tricks that you just need everybody to know, because you just want to help somebody out. All right. So the first thing, like I just said earlier, but this is the official intro to it. In order to live our best physical realm, experience, whatever you want to call it, we need to get our butts in the gym. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be in the gym. I just like to say the gym, because I find that's kind of the biggest improvement, I guess you can say, to our lives. But, it can be cardio and it can be sports as well. Because lately, I'm going to be honest with you guys, when it comes to lifting weights specifically, I haven't been on point as much as I usually was in the past. And that's okay, because I've been supplementing it, like I said, with basketball, which is cardio, decision-making, all the great things that comes with basketball. But when I say I go to the gym, that's what I really mean, just physical exercise in general. If you were to need like any type of workout routine or just any advice, please always reach out, because I know the gym may be intimidating for some people that have never stepped foot in the gym before. They don't even know where to begin, or any workouts, and whatever the stigma is that they believe, or false perceptions that they might believe about the gym. Just always reach out to me, because I can always help you out. I mean, I've been in the gym. I'm not going to say I'm a master, but I've been there for plenty times in my life, and I would go consecutively for a few years. But the point of it is that when you are, going to the gym, let's just say specifically, or let's say I know Dave in DC, he does, I don't know if he used to do them or if he's still doing them. The 5Ks, no, it was a marathon actually, full entire marathons. But when you go to like these communities with people that are there, they're all trying to do the same thing as you, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to gain muscle, whether it's to, stay where they are. You're surrounding yourself with people that are just going to push you to be the best version of yourself. And I know a lot of people, when it comes to lifting weights in the gym, you got people that might be staring at you, which that used to happen to me a lot, whether it's in my own head or whether I believe it or not. That's not, I can think whatever I'm going to think, but if I'm going to use that as fuel to say, okay, I'm going to give you guys something to stare about, because I'm just going to, rep out those extra 3 weights, or I'm just going to go on the treadmill for 10 minutes longer to have that extra sweat. When you're surrounding yourself with people that are around you that are trying to do the same thing as you, it's just extra fuel as well. And it gives you that kind of, subconscious or that extra energy to go to the gym, right? And I know for us guys out there, when we see women that are attractive in the gym going hard, that kind of helps us step up our game as well, and vice versa. And if you're a woman that's going to the gym and you see a bunch of men that you find to be attractive, you're going to help give that extra energy and that extra effort to really be on top of your game as well. So there's nothing wrong with going and being in a community of people that are trying to do the same thing as you. Like I said, even with the sports, right? Last night I played my semifinals game for my basketball team, and even though we lost, I had a group of people, my teammates and even the fans that were there to try to, achieve the same goal as me, which is to win the championship. And even though we didn't do it, it was still a great season, and I still had a great time doing it. So it just goes beyond, stop always looking at the negatives. Not everybody at the gym is going to judge you. Not even, for me, when I was playing sports, not everybody's going to say, yo, you suck, or they're not going to talk negatively about you. They might give you extra tips that you might not have even known about in order to, level up or to get to that dream desire to where you want to be as well. So Dave right here, let's talk about this. Golden nugget. When you're just starting out, just remember, nobody cares. Trust me. Others do not care if you're out of shape. You're doing it for yourself and better health. Bingo right here, 1,000%. Nobody cares what you're doing and how you're doing it and all that other stuff. Maybe the only time that they're going to care is if they want to go onto the machine after you and they're like, all right, well, how many sets you got? That's probably about the only time that they care. And number two, I can guarantee you this because I've experienced it. Nobody cares. And the people that are not doing as well as you in the gym, those are the people that are going to make fun of you if there are people that do that. But the people that are, stronger than you and more fit, they're never going to make fun of you. Those are the people that are going to say, yo, you might want to try this differently. And I guarantee you, if you go up to these people that, have your dream physique, they'll be the nicest people to say, hey, well, if you have any questions or any tips, go up to them and ask them. Number one, that might be a new chance for you to make a new friend. And number two, you can get that secret sauce or that extra edge to achieve whatever dream body or dream goal it is that you want. Dave, you're so right. Nobody does care. And the people that do are so worried about you, they're probably your haters anyway. So give them something to care about, But like you said, 99% of the time, people just don't care about what you're doing because they're so wrapped up in their own world, right? And I know if you go into the gym, you don't care about what other people are doing. You're just worried about your workout. So it's the same thing. Everybody adopts that same principle as well. So thank you for that. That's so true, man. Nobody really cares. So the next tip that I got to give to you guys for the physical portion is your diet. And I know this is probably the hardest thing to do right here is to stay on a good diet and not to eat too much junk food. Like, me, I love my food. I do eat junk food, not pretty often, but I do more so than probably, more so than I would like to say. But following a strict diet is it doesn't even have to be a strict diet, but something that is going to lead you to the right path is so important. Eating healthy is not that expensive. I know a lot of people say that it's really hard to do that financially, but it's really not. If you buy frozen vegetables when they're fresh picked, they're actually keeping their nutrients and vitamins and everything that you need versus, buying fresh vegetables in the produce section where, they've been sitting there. You don't know how long they've been sitting there for, other people breathing on it and all that stuff that goes with it. Even though, yes, when you cook the food, anything that might be on there, you're cooking out all the, the germs and all the nastiness. But I like the frozen vegetables because they're picked straight from the source. And since it's slowing down, the vibrations and everything, it's actually maintaining, the nutrients and the vitamins that are in there as well. But it's so important to just eat healthy because I know you guys have had a period in your life where everybody has tried to diet or not even necessarily a diet, but been strict about what they eat, limiting the soda and sugary drinks and foods and everything that goes along with that. You just feel better because your body is performing at an optimal level. And when you know that you're constantly eating fast food and sludge and nastiness, you just feel guilty about doing that. And when you feel guilty, that's an emotion and that's just not going to be where we need to be. So like I said, it doesn't have to be a strict thing of just, grilled chicken, vegetables and rice, and that's all you could ever eat. No, you can still have fun, but just limit it a little bit, because when you're constantly doing that, you're just going to leave room and you're inviting, disease. You're just not feeling well. Your body not optimally, performing in order to find that, next level and to pursue all of your dreams to do it. You're just not, getting yourself to the best level that you need to be. So just be mindful that, like I'm saying, I still do it. I have my cookies and my sweets as well. but I want to give you guys one tip, and here it is right here. In order to stop drinking soda, soda for me used to be really hard to do because, it's funny. I have a friend who says that it's liquid crack, right? And when you just drink soda, that's just bad for you and, all that stuff. I'm not here to preach, but you know how it is. But one substitute that I want to make with soda, man, I'm so tight. This can is green, but right, so it looks like I'm just holding nothing, right? But this is sparkling water, and I used to hate sparkling water in the very beginning. It used to be kind of hard for me to drink because I didn't think it had the flavor, and I was just craving that sugariness. But really what I understood and what I found out is you're just craving that carbonation and kind of like that burn in the back of your throat, whether it's Coke, whether it's Sprite, or whatever your favorite drink is. When you switch to carbonated water, I really love seltzer water now. Like I said, in the beginning, it was very hard to do. But after drinking it for a week, you'll start to get used to that and develop the taste for it. And it'll help you so much longer in the long run. I'm glad you agree sparkling water is the best. And they have so many different flavors too. Like I really love the Wegmans versions. So if you don't have a Wegmans near you, just the Polar one, there's a Polar brand with the polar bear on it that is a really close second that I really enjoy as well. And you can just try different ones. I really don't like LaCroix. I just think there's absolutely no flavor to it. It's funny. They it's like they do they put a fan to whatever vegetable, let's say it's grapefruit flavor. They'll just put a fan next to the water and then package that up and say that it's grapefruit. So I don't really find it to have that much flavor to it. But just try one that you like because you're swapping out those calories and it just helps so much with everything that you got going on, and you're eliminating that sugar. Sugar leads to obesity and high diabetes and all that other nonsense that you already know about. Like I said, I'm not here to preach to you guys. I'm just telling you about what has worked for me. So just try it out with the seltzer water as well. And finally, for the last physical tip that I got to give to you guys to live our best lives is grooming, skincare, and kind of style. And I guess ultimately you can group that into one and just taking care of your body. I mean, if you have clothes, that have holes in them and, if you worn it, it's like you have white tees that are dingy, you got white shoes that are dirty. You're not going to feel like your best self when you're wearing these things. And that's going to kind of take a toll on your, like I said, mental health as well, because you're just so self-conscious that people might be making fun of you, which you shouldn't even be worried about to begin with. But, we are human and those thoughts do come into our heads. So just make sure that you're just taking care of yourself in every direction as well. Style doesn't really cost a lot. It's about how you feel when you're rocking the clothes. And there's so many websites nowadays like Shein Men. I know they have, just clothes that look good, that are affordable at a huge discount. You got the secondhand stores that are the thrift stores that I know for us men, it might be a little bit harder to find something at those spots. And even then, if you don't, all right, let's just say you don't like going to the thrift stores, right? And you like a high taste and you have an acquired taste for nice shoes or nice sweatshirts or nice pants, then that's okay too, because you're investing in yourself and you think, which is, I don't know if it's really the case, but if you believe that you're spending more on higher quality goods like designer brands, then if you're taking care of yourself in that way, then more power to you. That's a great thing to do. And that means you're already on the right track. But, when it comes to skincare and, like I said, style and taking care of your physical body, there's no price that you can put on that. I think that's the most important thing in this world, over money, over time, over energy, is taking care of your health. Because that's always number one. It's just, that's the baseline for everything. Because imagine if you have the most amount of money in the world and you're the richest person, but if you don't have the health to spend that money and to enjoy that money, what good is that money? There is no value to it, right? Here it is, Dave in DC. Fitting into your favorite clothes is a reflection of all the work to get in shape. It is a great reward to yourself, 1,000%. When you're fitting into those jeans that you've maybe had for about 20 years, or I don't know how long you've had them for, but you're able to fit into them, that's a great feeling. And knowing that all the work that you've been putting in is paying off, and that's a reward to yourself, there's no greater feeling in that. And I agree with you 100%. Fitting into your clothes is one of the best forms of awards that you can give yourself. I love the thrift stores. It's therapy 100%, and you never know what you can find in there. Even if you go in there and you don't find the clothes that you're looking for, you could always flip an item, right? If you find something that's real valuable that nobody really knows about, you can go in there at a cheap price and make some money that once you make that money, you can spend it on the clothes, right? Or spend it on whatever physical benefit that you want for your health. So important. Last tip on the physical side, because you guys are doing a great job, which is just giving me you guys the physical benefits for everything. CMOS. CMOS is so important. I believe it has 94 of the minerals and vitamins that our body contains. Our body has 108 out of everything that makes up our body. 108 vitamins and minerals make up every single cell in your body. And with CMOS, it contains 94 of those 108 or 92 of those 108. At any rate, it's going to give you everything that you need. So please invest in a good CMOS. Make sure you're not making it too sugary with all the, the flavorings with like strawberries and all this other stuff. I can give you a tip. Take the CMOS straight up, and if you want to chase it with like a shot of orange juice or some type of juice, do that as well, because you're going to see a huge difference in mental clarity and energy. CMOS is so important for you as well, 1,000%. So actually, we're halfway through the episode already, and I'm just going to play a few quick commercials for you guys. But for the second half, we're going to be talking about the mental and the spiritual side of everything to make sure that we're having a great, life and we're enjoying everything. Just please comment whatever comes to your mind, and I'll touch on it after the commercial break in order to live our best mental and spiritual health as well. Because, when it comes to our physical health, please do not take it lightly. We only have one body, so take care of it for the time that you're on this earth. Yes, enjoy all the, the things that you got, the cookies and whatever, the candy, whatever it is that you want to do. Yes, you can enjoy it. But remember, you only got one body, so we need to take care of it. We're just going to play a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, and do whatever you got to do to raise your vibrations. And we'll be back after a word from our sponsors. So that was just a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. We really appreciate it, and it just helps keep us afloat and helping to do this full time every single week, week in and week out, giving you guys the golden nuggets that you need. And I want to change that. I don't want to say golden nuggets anymore. I got to take that out. I think Lou was actually one that commented gold bars. So giving you guys the gold bars that you need every single week, week in, week out, to live our best lives that we've come to this earth to live, because it is possible. And with the gold bars, we teach you how to do it. So I want to, if you guys, if you're just tuning in after the break, I want to talk to you about the thing. I just got a text message about the sea moss, and I want to share this with you as well. This is for my men out there. It says sea moss has very important nutrients for men, protects against prostate cancer. He says a little TMI, but true. And I want to, share that with you guys as well, because there's so many benefits when it comes to sea moss that it's going to be really entirely too much to name for this entire episode, because I'm pretty sure we could talk hours and hours about the benefits of it. But that's just one more as well, just protecting against, prostate cancer. And I'm pretty sure it protects against, other cancers as well. Do your own research on that. That was just a text that I got, excuse me. Always take everything, with a grain of salt. But if you want to find out more information about that, I highly recommend you do more research on the sea moss as well. So let's move on to that next thing. Gold bars right there. Look, thanks for dropping that. I really appreciate that, because it really is so true. You guys are always dropping the gold bars as well, man. And when we cash them in, there's just no amount of value that you can put on it, because all the tips that we do on here, man, it's so fire, so really fire. And I love doing this. All right, let's talk about the next thing. And like I said, I'm going to ask you guys this question too. If you're watching this right now or in the replay, I need you to comment a mental thing, tip or trick that you do, or strategy, technique, whatever it is, to make sure that your mental health is being preserved and it's operating at the optimum levels that we need to make sure that we're living our best life as well. Because I have a few right here, and like I said, it's going to be impossible to fit all the tips and tricks in this 1 hour, but just give me your best ones, and here it is. In order to preserve our mental wellness and, whatever it is that we need to do mentally, reading is so freaking essential that I can't even begin to talk about how much reading is important to us. And reading, when it comes to reading, just picking up a book, there's so many great benefits to it. Number one, if you want to learn a new trade, or you want to learn a new way to make money, or you want to learn, if you want to learn a new sex tip, right? It can be whatever it is that you want in this world. When you pick up a book, number one, you're helping out with your mental focus and your mental fortitude. Because number one, there's no ads constantly distracting you from whatever book it is that you're reading. You're able to indulge and go kind of into a new world in whatever it is that you're reading. So there's no distractions with that. Number two, you're taking somebody's entire life research and however hours they've taken to put into a book, and they're giving you all the free game to help you get past whatever mental block it is that you need to get to, and they're giving you all the free sauce in the power of a book. That's so amazing, and nobody can take away your knowledge. And even with reading, whatever it is that you want to learn about, you can learn from the best professionals out there. Because you have to have some kind of authority to write a book, versus if you were to go online and look at the keyboard warriors on social media, you can have Joe Schmo and Joe Blow talking about something that they have no research, or they don't even know what the heck they're talking about. At least with a book, you have somebody that studied whatever they're talking about, and they have to be some kind of, accredited or have some credibility to their name and to learn about what it is that they're going about. So reading, seriously, please freaking pick up a book, because there's so much power in it. And if you find something that you like to do when it comes to reading and you want to learn about, and you're engaged and you actually have a craving for, reading that book is going to take you to wherever that level it is that you want to be, and to give you that power, and nobody can take that away, like I said, which is ultra important, because that's just like one of the biggest things that you do. And I know reading might sound corny, because I used to think, why the freak would I want to read a book? Like that's for losers, or that's for nerds. I used to think that, because when I would see somebody reading a book, I'm going to just put this down real quick. When I would see somebody reading a book, it would be something about like sci-fi, or something that's fiction, or whatever it is. And I used to think that was kind of corny, but hey, if you're having fun while you're doing it and that's what you're into, there's so many great things about being lost in that world and exploring kind of a different world that you might not get with the social media within a book. There's so many great things. Like I said, each one of these tips that I'm going to be talking about, you can really dive deep into it and have a 10-hour podcast or 10-hour just talking session about each one of these points that I'm giving you. And I think that's really why I chose each and every one of these points, because number one, they all go hand in hand with each other. But number two, you can dive so deep into all of these different topics. And these are really essential in order to living your best life as well. So like I said, with reading, and let's talk about loose tip. Loose tip in order to live that best mental life that we want to live. His tip is to find what you enjoy to do and always set time aside for whatever that is. And that's so important too. Number one, when you find that niche and you find that calling that you're able to do, all right, I'm gonna bring this back just a little bit, because I was just talking about reading, and I've been reading this book, because it's been an audio book, but it's called The War of Art. And in the book, there's an excerpt where it talks about, how many times have you heard this story where you find a woman who's just been told that she has cancer by her doctors, and she only has a few days to live, so to speak. And when she stops doing everything that she didn't want to do with her life, and it's like what Lou said, and she goes to set the time aside to do whatever her calling is, that is where she finds fulfillment and value and purpose in her life. Then the cancer goes away and she's living the happiest life that she's ever wanted to, and she's having a great relationship with her family and friends, and everything is just going so great for her. That is what happens when you set the time aside for whatever it is that you want to do. When this thing is calling you, whatever it is that you want to set time aside for, most of the time, that's what's going to be your calling, and that's what's going to give you purpose and value in this life. So when you set that time aside, you're just following your dream and your desires and your calling. And when you're following your calling, everything will start to work out for you. Because think about it. I'm pretty sure right now, even me, there's something that I've been putting aside for the longest time that I know is going to give me great amounts of joy and potential, and maybe even monetary benefits to it as well. But since you keep putting that thing off, that's when you're going to feel more guilty about putting that thing off. And when you're feeling that guilt, you're not you're not living your optimal life. And when you're not living your optimal life, there's so many negative benefits that come with that as well. So yes, 1000%. And whatever it is, everybody's interested in something. So never ever think that you're going to find that thing just by yourself and you're going to be the only person studying that topic. Of course not. You can have the most niche thing in the world about how to grow grass in Florida in the middle of the winter, only using a certain type of seeds, right? It can be something as niche as that, but you'll find the community of people. Being online and on the internet, it just helps you find that group of people so much easier, which is a benefit of being online. But you're never gonna be alone with whatever niche that is that you have going on. So just always make sure, like you said, if you're spending time, setting this time aside to find whatever it is that you want to do mentally, number one, you're not feeling guilty about not doing it. And then number two, you're always going to find a great community of people that are interested in the same thing as you, which you can develop more friends and social skills. And number three, when it comes to just living and practicing what you're enjoying, you're just going to get better at that thing, what you're doing, so that once you get better at it, you're just going to have more fun with it. And when you have more fun with it, more blessings will start to come to you. Like I said, whether it is taking that skill or trait or just that hobby, maybe monetizing it, then you can be a great teacher. You can kind of sell your knowledge on it. If you spent so many times succeeding and failing in it, then you can make that your full-time thing. And if you're making the full-time thing something that you love to do, it just goes hand in hand. It becomes a no-brainer to you. So just never feel that it's stupid or it's lame or whatever kind of self-doubt talk that you want to talk about in your mind that you're telling yourself. Wipe that out, take that out of your imagination, because you're just giving yourself excuses on why you shouldn't do it. And that just goes into resistance. And like I said, that's a whole nother episode. But thank you, Lou. I really agree. I agree with you 100%. Just find whatever it is that you want to do, set the time aside to do it, and watch just the rewards and the benefits just pour in for you as well. So as far as the mental side, we're just going to touch on a few more things. as far as preserving your mental health and living your optimal life, what you need to do is very important is social media limitations. I know people, I've actually seen with the iPhones, I'm pretty sure Android does it too, but I know with iPhones, they limit how much and they track how much you're on social media. And I've seen it firsthand, friends that are on there scrolling for 9+ hours a day, just using their phone on social media. And I know you might think that I'm lying, and you may think that 9 hours is a lot. Yeah, that's over what, 9, 18, 27. That's almost about a third of, it's a little more than a third because there's 24 hours in a day. But that's almost a third of your time just scrolling, ingesting all of those mental ideologies that you may not even subscribe to, or may be poisonous to what you believe, or it may just be the opposite of what you believe. It's just really poisoning your mind. So like I said, limit social media 100%. And I kind of want to give this to you guys as well. If you were to go into your settings app right now on iPhone, you can limit everything that you got going on. So look, I just want to show you this to you guys real quick. So let me just adjust the camera real quick. I didn't mean to throw my phone, but it happens. So if you were to go to your phone right here, you'll see that there's these little things called timers on your social media. So it says that I reached my time limit for today, and you can set whatever amount that you want. So when you go on here, it says the amount that you've reached for Instagram has been reached. And let's say, I think this is so important just to really limit it. And come on, focus for me. And let's just say that if you were to, there's something that you need to do, right? Let's say you got business on social media. There's always a chance that you can do, or there's always an option that you can do to work around it. So let me show you guys one more time. If you were to hit ignore limit right here, you could always log back into social media as well. So you can say, all right, if I need absolutely something that I need to respond to on there, you can extend the time for one more minute. You can extend it for 15 minutes, or you can just ignore the limit for today. And like I said, that's so important because social media is designed to be so addicting and to make you stay on there for as long as possible, because they're just going to feed you more of the stuff that you look at. So if you're looking at fights, if you're looking at doom and gloom, if you're looking at things that really aren't beneficial for your mind, it's just going to keep feeding you more of that. And with the shock factor, we all know you're just going to be designed to stay on there longer and longer. And that's not really great for you. So just limit your social media use to make sure that you're preserving your mental health. Because as we all know, I think there's a documentary called The Social Dilemma, I believe it is, or it's something about social media. I can't remember the title, but it just talks about how social media is so detrimental, especially for the youth growing up nowadays, that there's more cases of depression. You're getting those quick hits of dopamine on there. And if you're looking at, porn on there as well through social media, it's just not a good look for you as well. So always just make sure that you're limiting your social media use. And like I said, maybe if you're not strong enough to just get off at the hour mark or however long you're doing it, that's why you put on those timers to make sure that you're not staying on there as long as you need to be, on there. Another thing, we're going to be talking about the third thing out of the fourth to preserve our mental health is music. Music is so important. When you got on great music, I know you can probably do anything. You can run those marathons, or you can rep out that extra rep in the gym if you got that music blasting in your ear because you're listening to heavy metal. I know that's what I do, so that's why I brought up that exact example. But with music, it's so important because that is just as important as anything else is, talking about the mental health. When you're listening to music that really isn't that great, though, where they're talking about robbing, killing, stealing, manipulating women, whatever it is, that's very important as well, because when you go out into the world, you're just carrying out those same ideologies as well. And I'm not looking too much into it. It is what it is. It's programming your mind just to make sure that you're limiting that music. And when you, like right now, I think one of the reasons, I'm gonna give you guys my secret sauce, and this is just for everybody that's out there. Come on. Why are you doing this to me right now? All right, there it is. So some secret sauce in the background of every episode that I've ever done on Weekly Dose of Dano, I actually play meditation music through my speaker to make sure that we're elevating the vibes and we're living at a high rate and vibrating at a high vibration. And like I said, that's probably one of the reasons why you love the content so much, and probably one of the reasons that I love doing it, because the music that we're listening to is very high vibe, and we don't have any negative connotations or programming when we go through it. But music is so important as well. And if it's able to push you through that, barrier, or help save your life, or do whatever it is that it does for you, if it can do it for the positive, then it can do it for the negative as well. So just watch how you're using music to help get you throughout your day as well. And lastly, for the mental portion of everything, just make sure that you're finding the positive in every situation. I know there was something the other day, I want to share with you an experience, and I know you guys have probably done it as well, where I actually missed out on some money, or there was some money that I could have had, which is a great large amount. But, you always got to look at everything from the positive perspective. And you guys know that I talk about that all the time. But it's so true, because there's always a silver lining to anything. No matter how bad or how negative something seems, there's always a positive perspective for it. And always actively reach for that positive perspective, because it's all testing you anyway. When you're just so encompassed and consumed by that negativity, you're just going to receive more of it. But when you so focus on the positive, you're just going to receive more positive things that happen to you as well. So just make sure that you're focusing on, the positive side for everything. So when it comes to living out, this is a quick recap. The mental positive side of everything, please make sure that you're reading, make sure that you're limiting your social media use, make sure that you're conscientious of the kind of music that you listen to, and that you're staying positive to find the silver lining for everything as well. And I'm just going to play one quick commercial, because now it's time to talk about the spiritual side of everything, which I said is going to be a component kind of the physical and the mental. But we're just going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about all of the great things that comes with the spiritual side of everything as well. So don't go anywhere. Like, share. This is going to be the final segment, or the final topic that we're going to be talking about for today as well. So don't go anywhere. Like I said, like, share, and do whatever you got to do to make sure that we're living our great life.
Except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
So there it is, everybody. And like I said, this is the last portion. We're going to be talking about the spiritual side of everything, because this is just as important as every other one that we're going to be talking about, or that we have talked about. So number one, my key to live our best spiritual life is to make sure that you're meditating. I know I preach about it, well, not even preach about it, but I just talk about it so much, because the benefits with meditations is just unparalleled, and it just gives you the right direction for everything in your life. And people have been meditating for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. And it's just so important, because number one, you receive downloads and guidance and hunches and inspirations to help you live that dream life that you want to live. Whether it comes in the version of, hey, you should go talk to that person, or hey, you should make a left instead of the right on the road when you're driving. Like I said, there's so many benefits to meditating. And I know that I was having a conversation with someone about this, and they said, well, meditation is so hard because in the very beginning, I just always fall asleep and I don't feel like it's working for me. Well, just like anything else, the more practice and the more times that you do something, the better that you're going to get at it. And number two, when you are meditating, you're not really falling asleep. It may feel that way, and it may feel like you're not really conscious of everything. But if you're listening to, positive affirmations while you're meditating, all of those affirmations and, great ways of thinking are really hitting your subconscious mind, and it's reprogramming everything that we've learned, throughout our lives, whether it's the programming by our family, our, social media, or just our environments, all of that stuff. You're twisting it and you're reconfiguring it to make it work for you and in your benefit and in your favor. And like, if you guys don't know about your subconscious mind, you got to read up on it. But, the best example I can use is Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks about, a kid coming from a rich family is always going to be rich, and they can be like, the dumbest kid in the world and not knowing what they're doing, but they're always going to make money because that's what they've been programmed to do, versus a kid that's grew up in the Ford family, is going to be a lot harder for them to, break out of that programming, but it's all due to the subconscious mind and the programming. So like I said, bringing it back to meditation, when you're meditating, you're stopping that resistance that's going on in your life, and you're stopping all those excuses and every negative thing. You just put it to a halt. You leave all of those great things and the positive ideologies to come through to you, and you'll see a world of a difference in your life as well. So like I said, in order to live the best spiritual side of everything, make sure that you're meditating, make sure that you're praying as well. Praying can be so many different things. It can be praying to, the universe, or praying to a God, whatever you believe in. Just take the time to make sure that you're talking to those higher beings, because they're going to make and move mountains when you didn't think it was possible, and open up those doors for you when you couldn't even see it happening. And just making sure that when you're talking to them and you're putting your trust in them, that's when the great things will start to happen to you as well. And there's so many different forms of prayer out there. Whatever works for you, just please make sure that you're doing it. It can be, like I said, it can be, reciting a prayer that was from the Bible, or reciting a prayer that somebody gave you or that you found somewhere. It doesn't matter. Just making sure that you're taking the time to practice it. Another form, the third form in the spiritual world to make sure that we're living our best lives, is to go into nature, right? Nature is so beautiful, whether that's walking through the woods or even going to the beach, right? Those are all spiritual interactions as well. Because have you guys ever stepped in the forest before? Have you ever gone to the beach or gone to the deserts and gone to the canyons or the mountains and just experienced the world? You'll feel so great when you go to do it. And I know you guys can come up with examples, and think about the last time that you actually have stepped out in nature and done those things. You've just felt great and amazing, because there's so many things that happen when you are in nature. You have that clarity. You're kind of going back to the primitive side of everything and ignoring all of the conditioning and the programming that we've experienced now. And even just like walking around in the grass with your socks off and it's just your bare feet, you're exchanging the ions with the earth, and you're leaving all of the negativity and you're sending it to the earth so that it can cleanse you. And this isn't BS, guys. This isn't just stuff that I'm making up. Do your research on it and look it up, because I'm just giving you guys stuff that not many people talk about, or they're not really open to it or talking about it. But there's just so many healing properties that happen when you go and you stay in nature as well. And for the last thing that you need to worry about, or not worry about, that you need to be conscious of to live our best spiritual life, because it all goes hand in hand with each other. When you're refining and working on your spiritual side, that's when you'll start to find your purpose and your meaning in life. And when you're going through life without meaning and purpose, you'll always have that empty feeling that no matter it is what you do, if you're going on all those vacations, if you're buying the nicest houses and the nicest cars, but you don't have meaning behind it, it's all just an emptiness as well. And I can tell you time and time again, you'll find people who have maybe very little in their life, or maybe they don't have, financially as much as anybody else, or, whatever it is. Those people that have meaning in their life, that's all that they need. And, when you're happy and you're finding that happiness every day, and when you have that fulfillment, there's nothing else that even compares to it. You can have all the money amount, the amount of money, or friendships and cars and material things in this world, but it's nothing in comparison to all of the, finding that purpose and that meaning in our lives. And when we are finding that purpose and our meaning, that's just taking us to that next spiritual level, and the physical level and the mental level as well. So that's the episode for you guys for today. We talked about those 3 things. Thank you so much for being here, for dropping all your positive comments. Next week, we're going to have Councilman Chris Collins coming on to the show, talking about all of the great things that he's experienced in his life and giving us his gold bars to make sure that we're living our best lives, whether it's the mental, physical, and the spiritual health. Thank you so much for being here, for throwing your positive energy, your comments, and your questions in here as well, because I wouldn't be able to do this without my positivity posse. So thank you guys for being here. Stay safe this weekend, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Peace, everybody. Thank you so much.